that I was going to be doing a RC project, and I did that RC project yesterday, and that was going back to stock shocks on my Ford F-150, and that's what I did. So went back to stock axles, or no, stock shocks, I mean, and so now we are going back to stock shocks on my Ford Bronco. The issue with these shocks is these are from Endura, and I'm having a lot of problems with they're just so stiff, even after I've oiled them and everything. So we're going to start working on it here. All right, first I'm gonna grab my piece to take off my wheels. I'm gonna start with the rear. Actually, the front's the hardest part, so I'm gonna start with the rear. Okay, so we're gonna start by taking off all these wheel hex, the wheel, and then we're just gonna keep doing one side at a time. I don't want to go crazy. So we're gonna start by doing that, and then we're gonna start by removing these screws on bottom and top, and just gonna continue to get these shocks off one by one. This is a terrible time to stream, to be completely honest. Everyone's yelling down here. Okay, so so far we're just gonna start working on these shocks, putting them back to stock. The issue I made was these shocks were 59 millimeter shocks, and I kind of need to go back to stock. These shocks are just really bad. Once I take them off, I'll explain exactly what I'm talking about, and you guys will see what I'm talking about here soon. Yeah, let me explain it in just a minute. Okay, that's the first one removed, and now we're going to remove the second one here. Alright, so we got the bottom removed. Now we need to remove this top, and as soon as I remove it, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about, because this really makes a difference. The first thing first is I want to go back to stock, because the stock ones actually worked really well. I kind of wished I didn't actually go and change these shocks. Okay, I'm going to try not to mess this up. Okay, here's what I'm talking about. I'm going back to stock because, as you can see, there is a lot of resistance on this shock. These are more cheap shocks. These are shocks from Endura. Endura makes some more cheap quality parts, so not great parts. This is shocks. Yes, this is suspension, and I'm just having so much resistance from this. Okay, let me go grab one of my other shocks here. This is the stock shock right here, and let me show you how free it moves. This is how free it is, versus the other one is completely just stiff and not able to move. Let me see, what are all the messages here? Thank you for that comment, by the way. The resistance is not good at all. No. That's why oftentimes on my rock crawlers I actually take off the springs on the shocks, because for rock crawlers it's not good to have resistance. For rock crawlers, you want all the tires to move freely. Let me go give you guys an example real quick. I've got another vehicle that I just worked on yesterday that I can show you guys. Okay, so this is my other vehicle, and this vehicle has almost no resistance on the shocks. Oh, you do RC planes? That's great. I've heard a lot of other people do RC planes. So here's how well you can see. There's no resistance. The wheels are just dropping freely, and that is exactly where I want to be. These wheels are just super free and easy to move. They're super nice. There's no resistance here. And on this one, I've actually removed all the springs on the shocks. There's no resistance. This is super handy. I love having it this way. It kind of has to be this way to be able to crawl. You do not want resistance when crawling. All right. And that being said, I'm going to get back to this. I'm going to start putting my shocks on. Sure. So it depends on which terrain you're driving on. Also, the shock itself should not have lots of resistance. This is just like really tough. I've even put oil in them, shock oil. I've used Traxxas 30 weight shock oil, and it actually didn't work. It kind of made it worse. you do not want the shocks themselves to bring resistance. If you want resistance, you're going to need your springs to bring that resistance. These are the springs I'm running on these normally. Whoops, I've got a piece on here. These are the springs I'm normally running with my shock, but I'm actually not using these springs so that I don't have any resistance. But if I did want some resistance, these are the springs I would use. These add resistance to it if you want resistance. So yeah, basically it depends on the terrain, and it also depends on the shock, and this shock is just not a good shock. So we're going to start by removing that. Okay, so we're going to start by, honestly, we're just going to start putting these on. And also, I want to let you guys know, I've got a fun challenge for you guys. When we reach 500 subscribers, I'm going to get a completely new live streaming setup. That's like, I'm talking professional live stream camera, everything. So if you guys want to see a professional live streaming setup, consider subscribing so we can get there. I think it would be pretty fun. And I'm not afraid to spend money on it once we get to 500 subscribers if I am going to get monetized when we get there. So yeah, just if you guys want to see me have a professional live stream setup, better camera quality, professional lighting, all that good stuff, subscribe to see it. I also told you guys way back when I had 200 subscribers that I would do a 5K if you guys got me 200. I have not done a 5K yet, but I am planning on it. I am training for it currently, so you're just gonna have to trust me there. But at this point, this RC, here's a few things I would recommend upgrading if you guys do RC cars. I would completely recommend upgrading the oh, give me a second. I'm trying to focus here. This is going to be the hardest part of this. All right, so I would totally recommend upgrading your high clearance links. High clearance links are a must to upgrade. The only brand I would recommend for high clearance links, upgrading them right now, as far as I've seen and that are good, is Injora. And like I said, I don't really like Injora most of the time. But Injora is good for their high clearance links. I have their high clearance links installed on my other vehicle, and I really like them, so I would recommend them. They actually make it a lot easier. These stock links do not do good. They just aren't really good at all. And so, all right, give me a second here. I got to get this lined up. Oh, I was going to get it lined up until it fell out. I'm having a dilemma here. I'm trying to figure out what I should do. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is, like I said, like I was just talking about, the high clearance links. All right, this is a high clearance link right here. This high clearance link is an absolute pain, and I'll explain why. Okay, you've got your little pivot hardware inside here, and this pivot hardware is one of the toughest hardware I have ever messed with. Like, it is not something I want to be messing with. It is just really, really difficult to get in here. It's constantly messed up. So here's why I would recommend you get this Injora high clearance link setup, is because the Injora high clearance link setup is so easy to put in here. It's literally like the easiest I've ever done. These are Traxxas. So this vehicle I bought is a Traxxas, and this is Traxxas high clearance links. I would never buy these Traxxas high clearance links again. These are an absolute pain to put in here. The only thing with the Injora high clearance links is you do have to put them all together. The O-rings, the pivot hardware, everything needs to go together. But yeah, it's so much better putting those together than having to spend so much time getting this. Honestly, this is my least favorite part of fixing the shocks, is that this pivot hardware just does not like going in here. So this is quite a pain, to be completely honest. I've done it multiple times, and I wish I didn't have to do it. It's one of my least favorite projects. I do really love fixing the shocks and stuff, which is partly why I really like this car, is because the shocks are actually not attached to the high clearance links at all. All right, where's my other screw? Let me find it here. I kind of need that. I didn't just lose it, did I? Where's my shock? Oh, it's right here. Okay. I I might have actually just lost it. Low-key. That would be kind of terrible if I just lost it. I can find it, but... Okay, I'm going to find that real quick. Let me see if I can. Let's see, we got the long screw on bottom, so I think it's like one of these screws right here. This might actually be the screw. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of RC projects. Sorry, I'm bringing it down here just so I can get this screw in here properly. I'll try to bring it up here. I've been doing a lot of RC projects lately, and most of them have been on my RC F-150. But here's the good thing about doing a lot of RC projects is honestly, you can style your RC car however you like. Oftentimes people go and buy cheap RC cars off of Amazon. If you're that kind of person, go for it. But I honestly would not do that because oftentimes those vehicles you can't add things to them, you can't upgrade them, you really can't do anything with those type of vehicles. So these vehicles, Traxxas is great. I also am going to be getting a axial. I'm not sure if some of you guys who have been in RC for a long time, actually, real quick, with that comment, you should just go to a hobby shop. I could go to a hobby shop. Now, here's the thing. The reason why I'm not is because the closest hobby shop is 2 hours from my destination. So, yeah, I'm not going to go to a hobby shop. But that's the reason why I'm not going to a hobby shop. It's because it is quite literally 2 hours from my destination. And I just do not want to do that, to be completely honest. And I know how to fix my own car anyway. Why would I go to a hobby shop if I already know how to do it, right? Something like that. Kind of in the middle of nowhere, to be completely honest. Quite literally in the middle of nowhere. And so, honestly, I really like being able to learn my own stuff. I kind of like putting them together, don't get me wrong. It's just this part with the high tolerance links. And hey, you know what? I wouldn't be live streaming fixing my RC car if I didn't know how to fix it. So, you learn something. I actually like doing this. So, this is one of my hobbies. One of my hobbies is RC cars. I could go to a hobby shop, but it's more money for them to fix it, and I don't get to learn it myself. And also, I can make whatever modifications I want on my cars. Right now, okay, so this is already a whole lot better. Let me show you guys when I get the other tire off and the other shock. That way, it'll just be a little bit easier. But yeah, no, I really like being able to work on my own vehicles. What would be really cool is to work on gas vehicles. I want to get my own gas vehicle and kind of learn the carburetor and all that for it. But I think the only issue right now that I have with that is just the fact that that I've heard gas RC vehicles do not do good at my current location where I live. So unfortunately, that's where I'm at, and I just have to make that work. So I'm just going to stick to electric for now. If I decide to change that and see how well gas works in my area, we'll see. But okay, we're having a difficult screw. We always have difficult screws on this side. Okay. Oh, for sure. I get what you're saying. Okay, I thought you were saying, fixing your cars at a hobby shop. Okay. No, actually, I order all of mine off of Traxxas. I've ordered one from FMS. I might recommend one of their, I don't know. FMS is not bad. It's not great, but it's not too bad. And then we have Traxxas, great vehicles, wonderful vehicles. Not a huge selection, but they do have a decent selection. Probably the biggest selection out of the companies I've bought from. And then we have Axial. I haven't tried out their vehicles yet. I hear they have great vehicles. I just bought a 1/24 scale RC from Axial, so I'm going to be reviewing that here soon. So yeah, subscribe if you want to see a review from Axial. But yeah, that'll be next. And then I just buy everything online, to be completely honest. I don't have anything close to me. And also, in a lot of hobby shops, they're definitely a lot more expensive, unfortunately. So, all right, we're going to remove the bottom screw first, and then the top screw. I should have removed the top screw so I don't have this high clearance link issue, but that'll be fine. Yeah, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 RC vehicles right now, and I will be getting a 6th one here soon. You know what would be really cool, and I think I might start live streaming this, is I think I want to actually get a like a $80 car off of Amazon. And hear me out, hang on, before you get like confused why I just said don't buy a car from Amazon, and I'm going back on that. I found a brand on Amazon called MNRC. And these cars, I've looked at them, I've looked at the setup, the chassis, the shocks. These cars you can upgrade. A lot of cars, the way they work is they have, the body just screwed on. You really can't access anything. Or if you're trying to access anything, it's really, really difficult to access anything. And so I found this brand on Amazon called MN, and they're about $80 per car. They are rock crawlers. And I want to go and get one of those and then upgrade it, upgrade the shocks, the portal axles, kind of everything for it. But that'll be in the future. But yeah, I want to buy like a cheap car and then upgrade it. I think it would make for a really good video. All right, so some of you guys may be wondering what I'm doing right now, and this is really important. I had to watch a video to figure this out, but let me show you guys. All right, so this is a shock. Some of you guys have been wondering, if you guys have been wondering, how to remove the spring from a shock. I'll show you guys how. Okay, so first, at the very top of the shock right here, there's a little piece. There's one side of the shock, this unscrews, and this side of the shock, there's a little piece that just slides down. I know it's hard to see it, but this piece just slides down, and you can pop it off, okay? Let me show you as soon as I pop it off what it looks like. This is the little piece that holds the spring on. If you pop this piece off the top, the spring just comes freely off, just like that. Super easy, super simple. And since you don't have the spring on, there's no reason to put this little piece back on. Just leave it off. Yeah, like I said, I'm running all my vehicles with springs off them, except for the higher power vehicles. But for my rock crawlers, that's the way I'm doing it. So that's what we got going on for right now. And let's start by putting these on correctly, if I can. Try not to move the high clearance link too much, because I do not want to have to readjust it. Okay, we're going to start by doing this. Yeah, so a few really good brands. Those are a few really good brands for upgrades. Axial, Traxxas. Like I said, I haven't tried out Axial, but I trust them. I've heard a lot of good stuff. Also, if you're looking for portal axles for your RC cars, I would completely recommend Mias Racing. Again, I haven't tried their products, but I've heard from this channel, this really big RC channel on YouTube, Cape Crawlers. I've heard from him that they have great portal axles, and so I'm probably going to be buying a few here soon and trying them out as well. But he recommended those for you guys. If you guys want to get portal axles, good portal axles, I would not recommend Endura off Amazon or AMK. AMK portal axles, I bought a few AMK portal axles for $70, and that was one set was $70, and it kind of ended up being a waste of money. Unfortunately, it broke within like a week. So, and also I had it reversed my transmission and everything. The whole transmission was reversed. I wasn't super happy about it. So I would not recommend buying from AMK if you are going to upgrade your RC cars. Like I said, the best upgrades are going to be Traxxas. Let me think, what else? Yeah, Axial, those kind of upgrades. Mias Racing. I've done a lot of look into this, and most of the reason why I know this is because I bought a lot of parts that didn't work out so well, that ended up breaking really fast. All right, let me read this message. This is a really long message. Okay, so you said you started 10 years ago. You started on RC cars, and now you've moved over to real cars. I think you're probably right. I could use this knowledge that I've gotten from RC to go and fix real cars. It is a tad bit different, but I trust you on this. I definitely could. Right now, it's not at my highest interest. I feel like RC is a really fun hobby, but I do feel like it would be a really, really good idea to learn something about cars. I think a lot of times people, when they have their car break down or they need their oil changed or something like just simple, they go and take it to a mechanic because they don't know how to do it. I think it would be smart to have that knowledge, but I'm just not technically invested in it right now. You know what I mean? Okay, so all right, this is going to be an issue. Okay, now that we've got this car set up, we've also removed the springs, and I'm a little bit worried about this. Let's see if this body fits good on here. Okay, that wouldn't be rubbing. All right, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. It's rubbing on the bumper back here. All right, so now that I've got my new shocks set up, which ride a lot lower, these actually do not rub on the tire well, which I'm shocked, but they rub on the bumper. The bumper is going to be really easy to remove. Like I said, I'm not going to do that right now, but look at how low that crawls versus the front here. I have not changed yet. Okay, the back is completely changed. So there's a huge difference. Look at this. This is the fully extended front suspension. Whoa, actually, no, it's not. There we go. Now it's fully extended. And this is the fully extended rear. There's quite a big difference here. I know you can't quite tell, but there is a difference. And so the back is so much more smooth, so much easier. I really like that. Okay, so we're gonna start by removing the front now. And also, a lot of people don't understand why I like my crawlers so low to the ground, and that's literally just because these are so much better for crawling when they're so low to the ground. All right, let me answer this question here. How many RC cars do you got? I have, like I just said, I think I have 5 right now. I have 5 RC vehicles. I will be getting a 6th RC vehicle in this next week. So we will have 6 in total after this week. And then you said the SCX-10. The SCX-10 looks pretty sweet. I just bought the SCX-24. SCX, I think that's right. SCX-24. It's the 124 scale. I was kind of against the 124 scale for a little while, and we'll actually see. Maybe I'll really like it. I'm just going to have to experiment with it, but I did just buy an SCX-24. So I was honestly really hating on the 24 scale vehicles, and then I saw another RC YouTuber, Cape Crawlers. He has a lot of the 124 scale, and he was kind of mentioning some good things about them. And so I decided I'd buy one and I would use my 124 scale as kind of a test dummy, if you will. I would kind of use it to test all the suspension and high clearance links and kind of everything out on it because it's a smaller vehicle and it's a lot easier to manage. That was kind of my idea behind it. Do you weigh the wheels in the crawlers? Okay, so oftentimes these wheels are not great. Okay, so these wheels are good wheels for crawling because of the traction. As you can see, the traction on the tires are really nice, except these wheels have almost no weight to them. This is a full beadlock wheel system, and this beadlock wheel system runs really nice, but yeah, like I said, the issue is that there's no weight. There's no brass wheel weights in them or anything like that. If I could show you real quick, this vehicle right here, this vehicle has brass wheel weights. This is a beadlock wheel system right here in these tires. And so I've used these wheels. These are great wheels, honestly. You really need heavy tires. But I have not weighed my tires as far as this vehicle yet. So it's a great vehicle, don't get me wrong, but I think, no, I haven't got that. I like the color of these tires. I bought these tires just because I like the color of them, the red aluminum in the inside and everything. I could use some other weights, sure. I haven't heard of those, though. Sticky lead weights. I haven't heard of those. But maybe I'll try them. All right, I'm going to take back off the top here so we can work on this a little bit easier. So a little while ago, I was mentioning to you guys about the AMK portal axles. These are the AMK portal axles. As you can see right here, it says AMK. I bought these, and these are already broken. I've took these apart because unfortunately they just do not work anymore. Within my first week of crawling, they were working great. They added some extra length. I was super happy with them, super excited, until I found out that the gears in this axle just completely broken. Like, they do not move at all. They were completely stripped, just completely ruined, taken apart, and I went back to stock portal axles. So that was AMK. I would not recommend AMK. But what I would recommend is I'm going to try out Mias Racing. I've heard a lot of good stuff from their portal axles, so I'm going to try out Mias Racing portal axles. I believe they're mostly known for their portal axles, actually. And so I'm going to try out their portal axles. Like I said, I'm going to do a review video on them. Yeah, I think that I'm going to buy a few upgrades for this Bronco eventually. And I want to upgrade the high clearance links, like I said, because these Traxxas high clearance links are a big pain. And then from there, I'm going to keep the shocks. I think Traxxas offers aluminum shocks. I'm not sure how much better aluminum shocks are than plastic ones. I might be willing to try getting a set and see how it works. Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Because like look at the gears in this. I mean, if you can't tell, I don't want to pull it apart right now. But the gear in this, these are metal gears. That's what I'm saying though. These are metal gears in this portal axle right here. So the gears are just garbage. Yeah, metal gears, but they broke within a week. These, okay, the Traxxas portal axles, I am shocked because these Traxxas portal axles have lasted me years. I mean, on all the vehicles I've gotten, this is my Ford F-150, and I've gone back to stock on this. I have had no issues. And those are plastic gears in the stock Traxxas portal axles. Plastic gears. These are metal gears, and these ones broke immediately. I was like, what's going on with that? So, unfortunately, that's where we're at. That I did not want to have that issue, but I learned the hard way. So yeah, unfortunately, that's what happened. But it's all good. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove the front steering hardware just for a second so I can get to the shock on the front. This is always my least favorite part because I don't like removing this piece. Okay, we're just going to do that. We're just going to do one side so that I can access the shock right here in the front. But yeah, so we'll see how this all turns out. So far, this is definitely the hardest. It's definitely the hardest one to get. This screw is so easy to strip if you don't do it right. You have to really put time and effort into this. I used to think that you had to put a lot of pressure on it to get it out. That was actually wrong. I am running brushless, actually. This is all brushless system. No, actually, this isn't. This is brush system. And the crawlers, I think this is all brushed. Because these are really slow crawlers, I run brushed. I could switch to brushless, but I think right now my first goal would be, instead of switching to brushless, I would want to actually switch to a high gear, low gear transmission system. Okay. What are these? These are brushed, but these are the stock Traxxas ones. Stock Traxxas motor. I haven't done switching any of the motors out. I haven't worked on that yet. It might be smart, but I've just been kind of experimenting with it. I like these motors. I've also seen, which I'm really, really not wanting to try out, I've also seen that Injora makes a motor, which a lot of creators are trying this motor out. It's called the Viper. I don't know if I would trust it at all. I honestly have no idea. It just says Titan 180. Oh, 8070. 87 tunes, I believe that is. So I'm just running the Titan. This is the stock Traxxas motor that came in it. So I wouldn't want to run the Injora Viper. I feel like a lot of new creators are running it, and I just wouldn't trust it at all, to be completely honest. Okay, where is there already a disassembled? I'm looking for. Okay, here we go. This will be sweet. Yeah, so this motor is the Titan 180, 87 tunes. Is that 87? I would really like a low gear, high gear system in it, a better transmission also. But I think what is that? I think it's $50 to get a low gear, high gear transmission set off of Traxxas, and I definitely can do that. $50 is not too bad to get something that's like, man, that would be nice. Okay, one thing that I really like, I've got some FMS cars here, and one thing that I really like is the FMS car actually came equipped with a high gear, low gear system. I really like that about the FMS car. It cost me $100. Normally it's like 170, but what's going on in the comment here? For sure. Yeah, these mods are really fun on these cars. I love modding these. And then you said they're almost as expensive as the Ford Taurus. Yeah, they're expensive. I'll give that to you for sure. These ones actually, this is why I like modding all of these cars, is because these cars actually cost like $179. These cars are not as expensive. You can turn a $179 Traxxas crawler into a worth to about $300 easy if you can do the right modifications to it. I love modifying my own cars. I absolutely love doing it. These are so much fun to modify. And so, yeah. But they are getting really expensive. If you buy a brand new, I was looking into, what was it? What was it that I was looking into? I was looking into an RC brand. The cars were running about $3,000. Like, it was insane. I was looking at one, what was it? 1/6 scale RC cars, and it was just insane. Yeah, like 1/6 scale RC cars for like $2,000. I think it was RC. Oh my goodness, I can't remember, to be completely honest. Oh, Red Cats? Is that Red Cats or Red Cars? Okay, Red Cats. Red Cats are. I've read. Is it? Are you talking about Red Cat Racing, the RC company? I haven't actually gone onto their website, but those cars are really cool. I haven't gone onto their website to buy a car, is what I'm saying. But yeah. I've heard those cars are really quality as well. Okay, I'm just trying to focus on getting this piece in here real quick. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so I think it was RC something. Red Cat Racing. I hear those are great cars. Which car did you buy from Red Cat Racing? Which car did you rebuild? Because yeah, there's a lot of nice cars in that. I think it was like RC. I'm still trying to remember the name of the other brand I was looking at. They have a Chevy Colorado or something as one of their main cars, but it was like a bunch of. I want to say it was like RC Primitive or something. Oh, okay, cool. So I want to ask you, what do you prefer? Do you prefer like 1/10 scale cars, 1/6 scale, 1/18 scale, 1/24 scale. What is your preferred size in RC cars? Because my preferred size so far up to this point has been 1/18 scale RC cars. I've really been liking 1/18 scale RC cars, but all right, well, so far we have got the 2 back shocks set up and the 1 front shock set up. I'm just going to screw this in here. But I honestly think from here, I'm just going to end the live stream. I like to live stream for about 35 minutes or so. So thank you guys all for hopping on here. Though I want to say real quick, I have got, my goal is to reach 500 subscribers here soon. And also, I want to say if we reach 500 subscribers, I will get a completely new live streaming setup. I want to get a proper professional live streaming setup. So I'm talking like, better camera, microphone, lights, computer, kind of everything. If you guys want me to get a better live streaming setup and reach 500 subs, subscribe to see me get that. So when I get 500 subscribers, I will get a professional live streaming setup. So if you guys want to see that, subscribe, and I will see you guys all in the next live stream tomorrow. But from here, let me just kind of show you how these shocks are working before I end the live stream. You guys all hopped on here for this, so I'll show you guys. All right, so these are the shocks. What's going on here? Oh, these are already fully extended. Okay, so the shocks are working great. There's like no resistance. Great shocks. I love these. And then also we've got the front shock right here. So in tomorrow's live stream, the last thing we'll do is we will take off this last aluminum shock and we will replace it. And then from there, I will see you guys all in tomorrow's live stream. All right. Thanks for coming in to see my live stream. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. It'll still load for a while, but